Hi everybody, welcome to Paper Wishes Weekly Webisodes. I'm Lene Gehrig, and today, from our friends at Creative Expressions, I've got the most incredible card making tools for you today. These are layered flower cutting dies. This is sunflower, posy, and daisies. We've also got some really nice greeting cutting dies for you, and put together, make cards like this. So I can't wait to show you what else we came up with, so come back and play with us. All right, so let's take a look at these beautiful layered sunflowers. They are gorgeous. There's 10 dies on the back here. Each one of those pieces will make a large, put together will make a large sunflower blossom, sort of a medium sunflower blossom, large leaf together, and this makes a smaller leaf. This is the center with the little seeds, and this is the smaller center. Open this up, and Creative Expressions has created a diagram to use for each one of these layering pieces. So you're going to start off with your largest piece, which is that one right there, and then you're going to die cut, and they're numbered. So this is 1, this is 2, okay, and then you're going to add the third piece, and when you put those together, it's going to make the final blossom. So let me show you how to do this, and then we're going to talk about the card. So I've got my 3 pieces here. And I like to add a little bit of ink to them. It just gives them a little more depth and a little richness to the image. So I'm going to be using, this is a Prism ink pad, and this is Warm Honey. And I'm just going to be using the surface of the ink pad. And it's just a very slight change in color from this color, but it's enough that it's going to add depth to the flower. And I think it really makes a big difference. And what I did with this particular card, I just sat there and I die cut lots of blossoms. And then when I was all done cutting them, I went back and did all my inking while I was sitting there watching television, listening to a podcast, and then I assembled them so that I had all the pieces together. And then this card just took a few minutes to put together because I had everything already done. And it's really about the process of making these flowers. And it's a very enjoyable process. So if you like that kind of thing where you're assembling and you're enjoying the making of the components, this is for you. So I'm going to be using, cocoa bean, and this is a brown, and we've got our little brown piece here for the center. But if you just add a little bit more, just like to one side of that, you're going to be adding some dimension to that. So that's what we've got. Now I'm going to take some foam tape, and we've got our giant wheel of foam tape, okay, which is a great bargain. There is 150 feet or 50 yards in this wheel of foam tape. I like to just take a small bit like this, take my little scissors. It's nice to have scissors that have titanium on them because they do not stick to this. It just clips right off. It's so nice. But if you don't want to do that, we also have these little foam squares. They're already die cut. 400 on here, and I'll link all of these below the video so you can see and decide which ones you want to use. So you just clip them off just like this, and we're going to layer this piece, and we're going to layer this piece. Go. So this one, there is a little, this is where it's nice to look at their pattern because there is a direction to go here. Come on. All right, so what you want to do is you're finding where to add these. Now you could put this in any direction and sort of offset them so that they're not lined up, which just makes your flower look fuller, I think. But we're going to go ahead and do this according to kind of how they've shown us, just lining up those petals. And then we've got our little center, which can go anywhere, just like that. Now we've also got a leaf here, and the leaf is done in 2 pieces. We've got the base piece or the bottom, and then we've got this piece. And I like to use a little bit of holly green, and I'm going to use a little dauber, which is so nice because it is a little more delicate than, I have to get these out of my little bag. They're a little bit more delicate than using the surface of the ink pad. I'm gonna grab my craft sheet as well, just so I don't get ink on the background and get it on the cards. Got our little sheet, and what I'm gonna do with that is just put a little bit, I got a little bit more, a little bit around the edges. Oh, I kind of went heavier on that than I meant to. Let's try that a little more delicately. Just like that. All right, and then we're gonna take our glue, and our little tiny glue bottles that we have, that would work really great for this. I just forgot to grab mine. You're just gonna put a little glue on each one of these. I'm just gonna line that up. And like I said, I just did a bunch of leaves all at the same time. I'm gonna grab a little wipe here and get rid of my ink on the background. All right, and so then to do my card here, I got all of the colors that I needed to make these beautiful sunflowers from our sunflower cardstock in the 12 by 12. So I used the yellow and the yellow flowers, and this one right here is kind of an orangey color. That's what I used on these, and for that I used roasted pumpkin around the edge of that, and then the same color for the brown. Assembled all of these things, and then I used this tan on the background of my 6.5 by 5 inch card. And I wanted to add another layer to that, and so I added this double diamond background cutting die, and it looks like this. Okay, so I glued that down, and then once that was down, I just started gluing and foam taping the flowers all the way around the edge. And I foam taped so that they would have a little bit more dimension than the ones that were glued. If you can see, they're a little higher. So that's what I did. As you know what though, I was gathering supplies today. I found this cutting die on our rack, and I was like, oh, I should have used this one. The all-over chicken wire cutting die would have been so cute with the chicken wire and the sunflowers. So I'm gonna link both of these because I think they work really well together. So then I used the Always and Forever cutting die, but I just wanted to use the Forever because I used both of these on another card, which I'll be showing you. And I wanted to make it a little different. So I did Forever Friend, and I just added tiny words and phrases, dazzle stickers in black. I'll link these down below too. So it's just Friend Forever. So you're turning something that's always and forever, that's a little romantic. You're just turning that into something just about friendship. And I've also got a little bit of the red gingham that I added there in a bow, and I just think that looks so country and farm fresh. So yeah, that's how I did that one. Now Debbie also did kind of a farm fresh look. She used this one. We did the daisy sort of traditionally and non-traditionally. So for this one, she did, what is the color daisy that's not white? What is this daisy? It's like a, what is that? It's like a Susan? What's that called? No? Anyway, let me know in the comments. I know there's a name for the yellow daisy that has the brown center. Let me know, you guys. All my flower people out there, let me know what that is. So for this background, Debbie used the sunflower 12 by 12 cardstock, and she used this one right there that's got lots of golds and yellows. It's got this little bit of chicken wire right there. It's so cute. She also used the oval cutting dies right here for her oval. And then, let me grab these. She used the daisy cutting dies. So we've got the large with this layer piece, and then the smaller one right here. We've got this little side piece right here. We've got some the leaves, and we've also got some little berries. So this is what those look like. And for coloring these, you guys, Debbie used mustard ink. Okay, she started off with that same color, kind of orangey color that I did, and then we've also got the cocoa bean. And see, just really different coloring, two different dyes, but getting a completely different look. I'm going to show you a more traditional daisy in a moment here. Well, not more traditional, but a white daisy. So this is what these look like. And they're all numbered, and they always give you ideas here on how to use them, which is so sweet. All right, so here's one where I used the daisies with white. Okay, so white paper, a little bit of yellow in the center. Use the little daisy leaves, but I also mixed them with the posies. So here we've got the posies, and for the white daisies, I'm going to grab these. Okay, so here we've got the white daisy pieces. This is this one and I'm using. I just cut them both from white cardstock. I just put a little bit of foam tape in between them. And then this little center piece right here, I cut this one from the same sunflower cardstock, that really pretty yellow. We're going to use a little bit of that honey color ink right on there. And then I even foam taped that one to the center. And that's what you're getting right there. Okay. So, oh, I made a mistake. This one, I did not foam tape them to separate them, so I just glued one over the other, and then I foam taped to the center. I think I misspoke there. For this one right here, it's kind of a side view, just like this. And what you're doing is you're going to put a little bit of glue. Come on, glue. A little bit of glue right there. And then you take this cute little stem there and you put it over the top. Isn't that adorable? So we've got those two kind right there. And then we've got our little leaf right here. And for this one, I just added on the top of the leaf a little bit more of that holly green. Just coloring the end of each one of those little leaves. And then you just glue one on top of the other, just like that. So that's how I did all of those little white daisies. Now let's talk about the posies. So here's the posies. Here's the card ideas on the center. Here's the large posy, the sort of medium, smaller posy, and they're all numbered. So here we go with the little posies. Here's two of the small ones. For this one, you guys, I used, all right, so for this particular card, in making these sweet little posies, I sort of used a combination of papers I used for cardstock. I used a nesting place cardstock for the pinks and the yellows, and then I used Meadow Bloom cardstock for the purples, okay? So I'll list those both down below. So for these little pink ones, I used a little bit of blush ink. And then I just went around the edges like this. Just using the surface of that ink pad. Go. And you want to use the dark shade of pink for one and the lighter shade of pink for the other. So we've got two shades of pink here. You just flip them right over. It's just so nice to have those double-sided papers. And then we're just going to cut off a little bit of that foam tape. Put that right there. And then we've got this really cute little center right here. And you want to use the lighter center on the darker one. And then we've got some adorable little, these are grape colored crystals. And these can just go on the centers so nicely. Glue is getting dried up here. I just like to put a little dot on each one, just like this. And that way everything is nice and dry. That's the nice thing about kind of mass producing your flowers, is everything will be dry and ready to go. And then you just get to play with them. So for this card, what I did is I used that same sunflower 12 by 12 paper pack, and I used part of this paper right there. and it's got this beautiful gray with script on it. This is where we use kind of our scraps of paper. I had already used the border on this paper, so why not use that part right there? And then I used some hammered gold specialty paper to make a frame using 2 of these scallop and a straight rectangle cutting die. That's how I made this beautiful little gold frame. And then I just took the daisies and the posies and I glued and foam taped and glued and foam taped. And then I took all of those little leaves and things and I just sort of stuck them under there. And that's how I put this card together. Return to that always and forever cutting die. Used them both out of white cardstock. Yeah, so that was a really fun one to put together. All right, and I've got one more to show you here. This one is also using the posies. Whoops. And this one, you guys, I used all the posies that I just showed you how to make, and I used the Thinking of You cutting die. They come with little mats for each one. So this one I used the white mat. I die cut that from white. And for the paper on this one, you guys, I absolutely love this. This one is from Craft Consortium. This is ink drops, and it's called Candy, and it is so gorgeous for spring. Look how beautiful. That is so gorgeous. And what I did was I took, let me see if I can find that little guy in here. Yep, there he is. I took one that had green and pink. There we go. And I used it just like this on my 6.5 by 5-inch card. Put it just like that. Okay, and then I took some of the, I took another sheet and I die cut the Thinking from the green and the Of You from the pink. So I used 2 of these sheets. There's multiple of each one. And then I had this white border going down each side because it's 6-inch paper and the card is 6.5 inches wide. So I just made a flower border going down the center. Put my little greeting separated enough to put one of these posies right in the center, and then just added the leaves. So you guys, once I had just been making my posies and just enjoying that process, putting these cards together goes very, very quickly. So yeah, if you enjoy that process, this is a great one for you. I topped these little posies with more of these little crystal sparklets, and these are raspberry color. And it just has lots of sparkle. All right, you guys, so we have a fantastic money saver on this collection of layered flower cutting dies. Let me grab all my cards everywhere. And they are fun and beautiful to make. I would really encourage you to just grab this one for your toolkit. And I think it's a really nice one to have all of these. You can mix them, you can use them individually. You can use them like the daisies that Debbie did. She used them with the white daisy, and she also changed the color on them. So you guys, yeah, definitely check out the Money Saver. It's right there on the right-hand side of the screen. Everything else we used is down below the video. You can check that out. If you're watching us on YouTube, then just look in the description box below the video, and it'll take you to this Paper Wishes webisode page where you can see all the deals I just mentioned. A thumbs up would really be appreciated, helps people find our channel. And subscribe. We do 4 to 5 of these videos a week, and we wouldn't want you to miss a thing. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you next time.